Just lifted anchor in the UK for the last time. This is not a good look, I'm rocking. Yeah, so today we are heading to the Med. Sad to be leaving friends and family and home, but very excited for what lays ahead.
Hoist the sails and trim the sheets. The ocean rhythm sets the beat. Horizon bound where freedom's found, following life's compass. Captain standing at the helm, the first mate steady, ready now. Explore the seas and chart new dreams. Wind will take our hands. So watch with us on the Cutterbove. The breeze will blow us both along. Adventure bound, let's hoist the sails, sail these seas together.
First watch out in the Atlantic Ocean. We are out of sight of land. We have had to put the motor on because the wind obviously died and it was quite rolly and the boom was crashing around. I was trying to have a nap at the time, so obviously that didn't happen, but it's actually really beautiful and the swell has gone down a bit anyway. It's about an hour until sunset. So at the moment, I don't know what I'm showing you. There we go, yeah. So at the moment it's pretty, it's still light. Our Starlink has held up so far, despite the fact that we are very offshore now, so that's nice. I've stayed in touch with people a little bit longer than we thought we might. No idea if it's going to cut out. We'll find out at some point. But yeah, no, it's not been a bad start. A little rocky. The autopilot made some sounds which Tony will tell you about. So I did some fixing. The wind died. It was a bit rolly before anyone's found the sea legs really. So yeah, a little queasy at times, but no vomit yet. Woof, woof. I said that swell died. This is picking up now. Yeah, so I've got an 8 until 11 watch. We're trying out the 3-hourly at the moment. Our crew member River, he needs to do some astro navigation, so he needs particular times of day, so ideally sunrise and kind of dusk, sunset time, to be able to do that. So we are trying to organise our shift patterns to enable that, because we're very happy to have him on board.
Oh no. Seasickness. The swell picked up, as did the rocking of the boat. The contents of our stomachs started to make an escape. Seasickness medications weren't helping. Morale hit rock bottom, but the sea didn't care about that. Unfortunately, the whisker pole was stuck, making it harder to stabilise the boat as we couldn't go wing on wing whilst going downwind. Everybody denied the trampled biscuits on the floor was anything to do with them, including me, but the state of the boat very much reflected the sorry state of its occupants.
I went into the cabin to find Tony had torn it apart to access the autopilot, making a mess, but was then incapacitated with nausea, laying fetal, giving himself a much-needed hug.
So, I just want to jump in here to say why I was in the fetal position looking at a hydraulic ram. I was sleeping on the bed and I can hear an awful sound below me, which was the hydraulic ram that I recently installed in Brighton. So yeah, it was brand new. I didn't know what the sound was or where it was coming from. So I had to look at, well, the area, the hydraulic ram and the quadrant to see where that sound was coming from. So there were a couple of problems that I figured out at the end. One was that the quadrant had dropped and it was rubbing against the metal housing underneath it. And the hydraulic ram itself was making an awful noise. It sounded like it was grinding against metal, but that was inside the actual housing. But yeah, I found out at the end that has got to do with trimming the sails and the pressure on the hydraulic ram itself. So trimming the sails stops that to some extent. But they're also known to be quite unreliable in heavy seas, which the Biscay did throw at it. Yeah, just because of the pressure that's induced. But yeah, that is why I was in that fetal position, nearly throwing up. I was quite close actually. Day something of crossing the Biscay. Well, we had no wind whatsoever at the bottom of the Biscay, so we had to motor, or have been motoring, for 2 days. Yeah, it's not been enjoyable. We're a sailboat, meant to be sailing. But the thing is, that we've got a problem with the engine. It's spitting out white smoke, and it overheats quite quickly if you put it in high revs. So we've got that problem, and it's been decided we're not actually going to go to Gibraltar straight away. We need to sort the motor out. Yeah, because I think we're going to be using the engine quite a lot in the Med anyway, because it's notoriously bad for winds. So yeah, that's my most recent update. Went for a swim yesterday because there was no wind. So yeah, we washed for the first time in about 3 months. What else happened? Not a great deal really, after the seasickness. There's plenty of things I need to do now. I'm not going to get bored visiting different countries because I'll be stuck on this boat fixing what's gone wrong.
Having any joy? The sun is setting. I'm just finishing my watch up in a minute at 8 p.m. It's been a really beautiful day. We are all sunburned despite knowing better. But yeah, I think today was the day I kind of sat on the bow of our boat watching dolphins in the sun. Everything felt peaceful except for Tony banging the spinnaker pole to fix a bit that was broken for a couple of hours, which was not so peaceful. Interrupted slightly my moment of, yeah, this is kind of what we were looking forward to and was hoping for, and we're actually doing it. So yeah, kind of it's taken, having not worked for about 6 weeks, having left my job about 6 weeks ago now, and a month of sailing the UK and getting down to Portugal to finally have that moment. But yeah, it felt really real today. It's a little bit overwhelming, but yeah, it felt like actually it's happening. It's not just a dream. It's not just the stress of planning, which we've been doing for however long now anyway. And that, yeah, it's real. We're doing it. I'm back. No crying. Yeah, so it's just been a really nice day at my end. Actually, at the end of the day, it's beautiful as well. I will turn it. The sunset again. It's getting there. And obviously, we are motoring because there is no wind. Yeah, getting into Porto tomorrow rather than going all the way straight to Gib as planned, just because there is no wind. We don't want to motor the whole way, and our motor is still chucking out white fumes en masse and overheating really easily. So we're going to look at it, and if necessary, have it looked at by someone a little more qualified and get that sorted. Hopefully nothing big, but yeah, looking forward to trying to walk on land with my drunken sea legs. Maybe a meal if our shrunken stomachs from 4 days of seasickness will even allow us to have half of a normal portion. But yeah, just start enjoying life, slowing down and really taking it in because it's here and we're very lucky. And we were treated to some amazing colours in the sky that night on what was our last night of that passage, but the drama wasn't quite over yet.
So what has just happened? We were motoring into Porto, Luxor, or something like that, Marina, and we're about a mile away and the engine has just died. Looks like we ran out of fuel, so I tried transferring fuel from the keel tank to the day tank. We got 2 separate tanks, but it seemed like there wasn't actually a connection to the pump, which yeah, there was no electricity getting to the pump. It was via the fuse holder, so the fuse holder actually melted. Because it's located in the engine bay, so it gets quite warm in there. And yeah, so it melted, so I couldn't get a connection. I've literally just had to replace the fuse holder, put a new fuse on there and do the connections. In the background you can hear the fuel pumping now from the fuel pump. So So yeah, the fuel pump's working. It was just a connection to it, but we're just floating. Well, we've got a little bit of a breeze. We're sailing away from shore at the moment. We're quite close to shore. So yeah, that was the biggest concern. But yeah, a lot of little things happened at once there. So yeah, hopefully. Do I fix the engine? Am I permanently miserable from this day forth? Come back next time to find out.